You are officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense. The live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get in here like usual. As you come in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. The bell so you can be notified when we drop nutritious and fruitful content. Definitely all that good stuff. Share, engage. Hopefully this channel teaches you something, or if you already knows certain things, it just reminds you. So I give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here like we always do. Excuse me. I know this is kind of an impromptu live stream. It's Monday morning. I know a lot of y'all at work already. You might have to catch me on the replay, and that's fine. I just decided to do this now because I'm not sure what's going to be going on, if I'm going to have time for midday mania. So I just decided I better go ahead and do this morning. So I give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. Definitely. Appreciate everybody that tunes into the channel, whether you're able to catch me live or whether you got to catch me on the replay. We definitely appreciate you. Yep, we'll get a 5-minute mark. I want to send a special shout out to them youngsters that joined me on that Core Essentials review I did out at the Public Hunting Land. Shout out to Core Essentials. But definitely, I love to see the youth get involved with things like this, because as we building these platforms and as we building this genre, we got to think about the next generations so that this message can outlive us. So 200 years from now, instead of just paper documents, you got video archives you can go back to. So we need to pass this message on. So definitely. Yep. Got my 49ers cup. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Also, I know he doesn't ask me to do this, but I always like to give thanks to my brother, Eyes and Ears Tactical, for gifting us this incinerator. You guys know I burn incense. I'm an old school dude. You know, I grew up in mainly my auntie houses where I picked up incense because my mama didn't buy them. Then I started buying them, and you know, definitely. So give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Yesterday I got a chance to watch a couple good football games. What? Let me see. I turned the Bengals game off because it was a travesty, but it's college this weekend. I got a chance to watch some good football. So, Old Man Winter is gonna be coming soon. I'm not looking forward to him. So, I see we got 2 people in here. Now we're down to 1. When you come in, make sure you hit that like. All right, we got a good old Dexter Norman in here. We got the face of consistent support for not only the Alert Zone TV, but for GunTube, period. It's people like him is why we do what we do. As you guys and girls always know, as I always say, if I can help one person get themselves legally armed, get comfortable with protecting themselves, I did my job. Shout out to everybody who said, acknowledge that I encouraged them to get armed, or if they was armed, I just put things on their mind they never thought about. I understand we don't agree about everything. Some of our political views may be different. Some of our social views may be different. And that's fine that we can have the conversation. I just always say let's do it respectfully, because there's something we can learn. You guys and girls know I tell y'all all the time. I go around to other videos, other channels, other comment sections, and I read. I learn a lot from y'all in the comment section. So with that being said, let's go ahead on and get into the meat and potatoes. We at the 5-minute mark. So For those of you who don't know, now this is allegedly. I know you innocent until proven guilty, but it's my understanding this place called Cool Kicks in the LA area was raided. He was live streaming and he thought it was a SWAT. No, it was a joke, but apparently he was raided. They said they was arresting him for selling stolen merchandise because he had a lot of different sneakers that were said to be stolen. I wanted to talk about organized retail theft and why does this mean you need to be armed legally, but you need to be on alert? We don't think about the loss of life from this. I'm not just talking about money and livelihood. I mean lives. People have been physically harmed up to the point of death. Let me explain something to y'all. For those of you who are new to the channel, you may have not heard this. For those of you who've been around this channel and the old channel, you guys and girls know I'm very open about my upbringing. I say things in GunTube that other people want to stay away from, and I understand. That's why I said I'll take the slings and arrows. I'll be the slings and arrows channel. This organized retail theft. Growing up where I grew up in New Orleans, we always knew of people who went to the stores and stole clothes, maybe shoes, hats, the grocery store, things like that. That people stealing out of businesses is nothing new. Years ago, when these smash and grabs started, when these people showing up 5-10 deep to rob jewelry stores, when this stuff started happening, I started saying to myself, okay, a lot of these people were covered up. The assumption is that this was black folk doing this. I was reading the comments. It's why you can't let them go nowhere. All they do is steal, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's not what I was looking at. I know my people. Let me explain something to you guys and girls about professional thieves. The whole goal, number one, is to not get caught. Number two is to have a honey hole. What does that mean? If I go into a store and I take a couple shirts here, a couple pants there, and I don't come back for 2 or 3 weeks, then I ease back. That's a consistent paycheck. Yes, they're going to notice when they do inventory, things are coming up missing. It's harder to catch. These smash and grabs, where people are boldly going into a shopping mall 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening and just grabbing racks of clothes. I said, nah, there's got to be more to this story. Hood people don't work like that. Then when Sephora and all this mascara and makeup, now I know for a fact this ain't hood. Even if it's hood women stealing this stuff, they're not the ones selling it. Long as I've been living, especially when I lived back home in New Orleans, I've never seen nobody trying to sell lipstick, eyelashes, eyeliner, makeup. I've never seen nobody on the street trying to sell that. Because especially, I know a lot has changed now, but when I came up, women from my neighborhood didn't buy that shit like that. They might have wore a little makeup here and there, some of them, but they didn't buy that stuff like that. So people wouldn't steal something that they don't have a market for, is what I'm saying. For a long time, I watched all the people talk about California. When they talk about California, they was being more specific about LA, and we know what LA is a colloquialism from. And I kept saying to myself, there's more to it. There's more to this. People are not just going and doing this boldly because they're not selling it on the street. I know they can't sell it on the street. The majority of the stuff that they're stealing, people on the street that they're going to sell to don't have that kind of money. Nah, there's more to it. Then Craigslist or what have you. I started reading articles where they started busting people selling this stuff online. The pawn shops started giving lists of things for people to go and steal and to come and bring back. Just all types of people started directing. I want you to go in the store and steal this. I want you to steal that. The whole purpose of stealing is to not get caught. If this is your way of life, the whole purpose is to not get caught. Then people started getting caught and they started pulling the mask off people. And it wasn't who everybody thought it was. Then they started catching the kingpins and queenpins. Out there in Chicago, I know a lot of times y'all talk about Chicago and this is why you can't let them roam around and this and this and that. But when the train got hit here recently, I knew that was an inside job. That they knew what car to go to. They knew what was going to be on there. Everybody knew that that was an inside job. Well, Cool Kicks is alleged that they knew a lot of these items were stolen. These limited edition tennis shoes. See, you got to understand something. When you get a hold of something that hasn't been released and you don't have proper documentation to show that you got that from the actual manufacturer, you got a problem. Social media, YouTube, any kind of internet contact that you have is all under surveillance. Everybody know America is the surveillance state. You got people from companies and police departments all over this country that all they do is sit around and monitor social media. That is their job. They come on GunTube, which is why when they went to Mark Chopper's house, shout out to my brother, they went there talking about they thought he was selling illegal guns. Nah, they just didn't like the fact that he had so many guns and they were hoping that he had illegal guns. That's why they pulled that little ambush. They sit around and they watch all of us. Believe me, they do. When we show them firearms, they got all this technology to zoom in on the serial numbers to see if the guns is stolen. I mean, we know that. Well, you got special edition tennis shoes that they know haven't been released, but they've been stolen off of somewhere. The easiest place to sell this stuff is online, so everybody thought. And then they started catching them selling this stuff online. You see what I'm saying? Paper leaves a trail. At the end of the day, people don't steal what they don't have a market for. All right, we got well-dressed. Yeah, man. These jewel heists. These organized crews running up in these jewelry stores. These guys and girls don't know shit about the price of a diamond. If it's certified, they don't know nothing about that. All they know is this is a high-end jewelry store. We're going to go in here and we're going to steal this shit because we got somebody we're going to fence it to. You guys and girls know I've constantly documented how these different places around the country keep getting caught trying to sell high-end stuff. Rolex watches. For those of you who don't know, Rolex keep a very, very detailed log of every watch that they make. There's a process to buying and selling Rolexes as far as I understand. And they keep finding them in pawn shops in different places where they figure, well, we're going to be under the radar. Nevertheless, over in Chicago, they call it the Magnificent Mile, I think. You had recently a bunch of dudes in a stolen car ran in a Louis Vuitton store and did their little grab and run or what have you. And in fleeing, they wind up hitting the car and killing somebody. I've seen where people have came in to places, even with the hair weave, and took off running for the door, and fist fights have broken out and people have gotten shot. People have gotten killed. Organized retail theft is more of a problem than people think it is. as I said, just me knowing and coming up that I knew people that this was what they was into. I've never seen nobody go up in the store and just go up to a rack of clothes and snatch them and run out the door. That's not how that worked. That's why people who stole back in the day was able to do it and basically make a career out of it. This is how. So, why does this matter? I've watched the videos of people being in places when these types of smash and grabs have happened, when these guys have ran up in there with firearms, or one of them have a firearm, and they start robbing people in the store. And the thing is, you don't know what store this is gonna occur at. Me, personally, I love to shop at Dillard's. I love Ralph Lauren. You guys and girls know that. I love shopping at Dillard's. That's my favorite department store to shop at. I know some of the stuff Dillard's sell may not be up here, but to the average person, the store they're not going to shop in because it's kind of expensive. Well, anything can happen to me. I can be in the store, and some knuckleheads decide that they're not only going to run up in here and try and do a grab, but they're going to start pulling guns out. That's why I always have my piece on. I want you guys and girls to understand something. You can't end crime unless you understand it. A lot of y'all don't understand how criminal organizations and how criminality work. You assume because you see something on TV, but you've never been around that lifestyle, so you don't know. So you start babbling at the mouth and you sound like a fool when you talk because you don't know what you're talking about. You just babbling and babbling and babbling. Yeah. Macy's, Dillard's, Macy's, sell close to the same type of stuff. Nordstrom, couple of these Fifth Avenue places like that. They sell pretty nice stuff up in there. Nevertheless, you guys and girls don't understand. When you live in places where you got these crews like this, all of us are in danger. I've watched the videos of people being in the store, jewelry stores in particular, but not limited to jewelry stores. And guys and girls have come in there to rob the place, and they decided that they was going to rob the customers that was in there. Like I said, you got people stealing stuff that they don't know the true value of. You can't go in the hood and watch dudes selling you an authentic Louis Vuitton purse. You ain't gonna find that in the hood. They ain't gonna go steal $300,000 worth of this shit and then try and sell it in the hood because they're gonna get caught. There's somebody that's sending them to do this. And as you look up, more and more places and more people keep getting caught. And where do they all live? The masterminds all live in the fucking suburbs. They live in these gated communities. I told y'all about the self-named queen pin out there in California that was behind all these Sephora burglaries and what have you. To the point where she was living in an $8 million house. She had a payroll. She had her thieves recruiting other thieves and was paying them, flying them across the state of California and across the country and telling them exactly what was the list of things to go and get. See, I want you guys and girls to understand something about how criminality works. And how when certain law enforcement agencies get involved, what they do. They don't always arrest the people on the ground. You know, in the drug world, they always say, we don't want the corner guy. We want the guy that's supplying him. And we want the guy that's supplying him till we get to the big man. And this retail theft, they don't really want the people in the stores that's actually stealing. They really want the people who sent them to steal. as they say, you chop the head off a snake, the rest of the body fall. And this is what they've been doing. It's my opinion. This Cool Kicks out here in California. It's my opinion that him or somebody that he trusts in the inner workings of that company know a lot of this stuff they was selling was stolen. And here's the problem. He was selling it online. Yeah, that's a digital footprint. I heard of in Chicago last year. You had these guys that had this kind of like hip hop or fashion store, what have you. Well, they got caught trying to sell a bunch of. It was a special edition of Jordans that was coming out, like some kind of Olympic type deal. I don't know. For those of you who really into Jordans, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, the shipment was stolen, and they canceled the release of the shoe. And those guys showed up with those shoes in their store, which I'm pretty sure they had been under surveillance. And yeah, so now they charging them with organized, basically a RICO. We as law-abiding citizens have to understand this stuff affects us. You think it doesn't. It doesn't affect you until they call you to tell you you got to come out here and identify the body of one of your loved ones that was killed in a car fleeing from these types of places. It doesn't bother you until they tell you that one of your children or your grandchildren or your husband or your wife or a friend of yours was assaulted and possibly killed during one of these smash and grab robberies. Because I want you guys and girls to understand something. When they come in there and they grab this shit, they don't care who's standing there. Your 2, 3-year-old, they will trample over your child. They will definitely trample over your child. And they don't care about you standing there. Even if you cower, they'll come up to you and start snatching shit off of you too. I've seen it. I've seen the videos. So you have to be legally armed, but you have to understand a lot of this open criminality you seeing, this retail theft, especially. A lot of this shit is organized. Home Depot, motherfuckers in there stealing saws and tools and all that. Go find your pawn shop. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, there was a guy out there that got caught. I think they said he had about $1.5 million, $2 million worth of stolen stuff from Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff like that. He had a list of stuff that he had people stealing, and then he was reselling in his store, hardware store. He had 2 of them. It's more of a problem than you think it is. And it has cost people their lives. Let me switch gears for a minute. If you own a gun store, small gun shop, mom and pop joint, I want you to take extra precautions in protecting your store. When it comes to the roofs, there ain't much you can do about that. But putting up concrete cement posts around the windows and close to the door of your business is essential. Because I saw a particular place out in Texas. I think they've been attempted robbed 2 or 3 times. Once was with an SUV, the next time they drove a U-Haul truck up in there trying to get in there. These types of smash and grabs like this at these stores. As far as people getting in and cutting holes in your roof, I've seen the videos of people taking 3 and 4 hours to do that. There's nothing you can do about that part. But making sure that you protect your gun stores, especially if you're a small person, put some concrete posts in front of that. Try and do the best you can because, man, they coming. They trying to figure out how to get anything nowadays. And when it comes to the firearms, what's really bad about that is we know that's used to shoot people. So I just thought I'd do this live. I ain't gonna hold you guys and girls up too much longer because I got a lot to get done today. I just wanted to talk to everybody and say that these retail thefts, you have to be careful when you're in public. I know a lot of times people say that's why I stay inside. You can't live the rest of your life inside the house. You got to come outside. Because guess what? At any given time, they can come through your front door, your back door, through your window. So staying home doesn't guarantee that nothing isn't going to happen to you. All I'm saying is when you're out in public, pay attention and understand if you see a bunch of people running in the stores grabbing stuff, there's more to it than just them. They're just, as they say, the foot soldiers. The real king and queen pins is the ones you don't see, living in places where you don't think that this type of stuff is going on. It's like the Italian neighborhoods. They know the mob still exists. They know these Italian guys running around here whacking each other. But they still steer clear of the everyday ordinary citizen, so nobody just say nothing. So just understand what you're dealing with. Understand when you go in a shopping mall or what have you, it can happen at any given time. Just be on alert. With that being said, I'm going to let you guys and girls get out here. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you live out in the LA area and you know more about this story at this Cool Kicks place, let me know. Give me some information. I love to hear from people on the ground. Until next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. We out.